Welcome back to my channel Knowledge Chronicle.
Did you know that the water inside a coconut is part of a growing baby plant? Or that a single flower can give rise to thousands of seeds? Today, we're diving deep into the magical journey that takes place after fertilization in flowering plants. A journey that transforms tiny ovules into seeds and ovaries into fruits. Stay with me for the next few minutes as we uncover how plants prepare for the next generation, step by step, and by the end, you'll never look at a seed or fruit the same way again. After the fusion of male and female gametes in a flower, a powerful transformation begins. This is known as post-fertilization events. These include development of endosperm, development of embryo, maturation of ovules into seeds, and transformation of ovary into fruit. Let's now break each of these down and understand how the plant nurtures life even before it's born. Right after double fertilization, where one sperm fertilizes the egg and the other fuses with two polar nuclei, a triploid cell is formed. This gives rise to the endosperm, the first tissue to develop. But why does this come before the embryo? Because the endosperm is the baby plant's nutrition pack. It stores food the embryo will need to grow. There are three types of endosperm development, but the most common is the free nuclear endosperm. In this, the endosperm cell divides many times without forming walls. That's why coconut water, yes, that sweet, refreshing liquid, is a free nuclear endosperm filled with thousands of free nuclei. The white coconut meat is the cellular endosperm. Depending on the plant, the endosperm may remain in the seed like in coconut castor maize, called albuminous seeds, or get completely consumed by the embryo like in peas, beans, and groundnuts, called non-albuminous seeds. Next time you eat these seeds, remember, they were once packed lunch for a plant embryo. The zygote, formed after fertilization, develops into an embryo, but it waits a while before dividing. Why? Because the embryo needs enough endosperm around it for nourishment. The development of an embryo is called embryogeny, and early stages are similar in all flowering plants. Let's look at dicotyledons like peas and beans. The embryo starts as a proembryo, turns into a globular shape, then heart-shaped, and finally a mature embryo. A typical dicot embryo has two cotyledons or seed leaves full of stored food, an epicotyle, which is the upper stem ending in a plumule, the future shoot, and a hypocotyle, the lower stem ending in a radicle, the future root covered by a root cap. In monocots like maize, rice, and wheat, only one cotyledon exists, called the scutellum. The coleoptile protects the shoot, while the coleorhiza protects the root. Try this at home. Soak some wheat or maize seeds overnight. Split them open and observe these parts. It's biology in your kitchen. Now that the embryo and endosperm are formed, the ovule becomes a seed, the final product of sexual reproduction in flowering plants. A seed usually contains a seed coat from the ovule's outer covering, one or two cotyledons, and an embryo axis. Depending on whether the endosperm is retained, we have two types of seeds. Albuminous seeds retain endosperm, for example, castor, wheat, and maize. On the other hand, non-albuminous seeds consume it entirely, such as pea and groundnut. Sometimes, remnants of nucellus, the original ovule tissue, remain in the seed. This leftover tissue is called perisperm, and it's seen in seeds like black pepper and beet. The micropyle, a tiny pore in the seed coat, allows oxygen and water to enter during germination. As seeds mature, they lose water, drying up to 10 to 15%. They enter a state of dormancy. Or if conditions are right, they germinate and grow. As seeds form, the ovary of the flower transforms into a fruit. The ovary wall becomes the pericarp, the protective and sometimes edible outer layer. Fruits are of two types. True fruits develop from the ovary only, for example, mango and guava. False fruits include other parts like the thalamus, for example, apple and strawberry. Now here's something cool. Some fruits develop without fertilization. These are parthenocarpic fruits like bananas. Scientists can even induce parthenocarpy using hormones, a useful way to create seedless fruits. Fruits help in seed dispersal thanks to animals, wind, or water. And yes, there's often a relationship between the number of ovules in the ovary and the number of seeds in the fruit. Think of a tomato versus a mango. Seeds are life capsules. They can survive without water, be stored for years, travel to new locations, and start new generations. They ensure genetic variation and the survival of plant species. Some seeds live only a few months, others thousands of years, like the Lupinus arcticus seed. It germinated after 10,000 years, or the date palm seed from King Herod's palace, revived after 2,000 years. Orchid fruits can have thousands of seeds, and a tiny ficus seed can grow into a massive tree. Nature truly builds giants from grains. Next time you bite into a fruit or hold a seed, remember, you're holding the result of an incredibly detailed, miraculous journey that began with a single fertilized cell. Wasn't that fascinating? Your one like, share, and subscribe will help us create more valuable content. Stay curious and keep learning with Knowledge Chronicle.